She did a search, found one, bought one, made it absolutely beautiful. We've closed on, so I bought into an existing practice here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm now the full owner of that practice as well. And we just had this conversation like, dude, this sucks. Like,
Okay. So today's guest got her first pair of contact lenses in the third grade, and 2 decades later, she built a tech company around the prescription, landing the Inc. 5000 list 3 years running. Dr. Brianna Rhue is an optometrist, practice owner, and CEO of Dr. Contact Lens, a platform that's helping eye doctors fight back against online retailers. And she says most practices are losing about $200,000 a year without even realizing it. So, in a nutshell, tell me what I mean. I know I have read about it. I think you really have a great story and a really innovative approach. So, tell me how this all works.
yeah, to be here and go through this story a little bit. So I kind of never heard my intro like that on just how it came full circle on a problem I had both as a patient, then living it on the doctor's perspective. So in eye care, and I see you're wearing glasses, so any of my glasses wearers out there, contact lens wearers out there, when you come in for an eye exam, we're not trying to sell you the piece of plastic, but the way that our profession is designed is we get you in for your comprehensive eye exam, and then we get to sell you what we prescribe. So it's not like you go to a dentist and you get a root canal and then you can take your root canal somewhere else. In our profession, you can come in, get an eye exam, and then take that script if you want to somewhere else. And that really hurts you both as a patient and then the community that's serving you. Where if you actually did the math and we didn't mess up the math with you, we leverage your vision plan, we leverage these rebates, we're actually cheaper for you and more convenient because we can then offer more things. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to connect that back to the doctor's office who's serving you as a doctor. Like I promise, guys, we're not all out on our yachts on the weekends. We're hustling just like you are, and we're being squeezed by these insurance companies and these vision plans to take better and better care of you. And when we loop that all together is when everybody wins.
Okay, so from the standpoint of a consumer, I come in to get an eye exam, and I say, "Oh, good, I've got this script now. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to shop like hell and find this great deal on the contact lenses because I just went to Dr. Rue and she gave me the contact lens prescription." So tell me how you help me to wise up.
Yeah, so we help you wise up, Zane. And it was my dad is the most electronically challenged being on this planet still. So, meaning like he doesn't know where his text messages are. He'll send me an email by going to like Siri and saying, send me this email. And I obviously never get it. And we made this, we made a bet with my dev team that my dad would be the first order. So there's a regulation that the prescription at the end of the day, Zane, is yours, right? You paid me for
Right.
your service. You paid me for the prescription. You have the right to go wherever you want. So what we wanted to do was make that very easy. So our competition, and this is regardless of anybody, the competition is friction. So when you now have to go through 12 steps, we wanted to again, hey, Zane, I'm going to send you a text message in there. You can click on the link. You can have access to your prescription 24/7. But now your vision plan's there, your rebates there, and now you can use Apple Pay, Care Credit, Google Pay to pay. Pay with Blood is launching next week. And I'm kidding, it's not, but maybe, who knows? Then you click on order.
I was going to ask you about pay with blood.
You click on
Okay.
order, and then now that revenue, you get now that experience that we've all come to love, but you've also connected that revenue back to the practice who has taken amazing care of you.
So
That's how it works.
okay. So if I come in, So when people leave with their prescription, do most people historically, not now, have most people historically just taken that prescription and went somewhere else, or do they say, "Okay, doc, now which lens do you recommend? Let me go ahead and order it." Typically, what has happened, I know what happens after you get the prescription. Um, After you get the first prescription, then people go out and they see online, oh, get your prescription for less, because even if you talk in your house, sorry, I'm cynical. If you talk in your house, there's something called the Internet of Things that most people don't even know about, but you're being recorded all the time.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about getting contact lenses, then the Internet of Things, even your TV, people,
Take me to
your TV
Hawaii.
is
Is my
listening
thing
to you.
listening to me now? Take me to
Um,
Hawaii.
it's
Yeah, the
true.
Internet of
I'm not
Things
a
is really
paranoid.
good.
So anyway, the Internet of Things says, okay, well, now we're going to put in front of you all these things from these really big companies who are selling contact lenses, who are going to save you all this kind of money, and so people probably just dry up as far as um, being return customers, or and so your position. So tell me some more, because I'm really fascinated, because it seems like that that this is a real problem that you're addressing for
It is a real
what is
problem.
small
So
business.
around 60 to 65% of our patients will order from us. Okay. So Zane, I know if I'm talking on your podcast to attorneys, to doctors, to other business owners, a 65% is a freaking failing grade. So yes, Zane, I could do some staff education and we could do a sales training and we could maybe move that needle from 65 to 68%, which is still failing, meaning 3 of 10 patients are coming in saying, this is the best eye exam I've ever had. Can I have a copy of my prescription? Now I intercept that and I now am at a 90% capture rate, which is now a phenomenal grade. That's how you leverage technology. That's how you leverage data. That's how you make it that we're just making this process have so much friction. And that at that point, you've become a consumer. So, yes, in one part of my practice, you are a patient. Now, when I'm selling you something like a pair of glasses where I know that my technology is better, I'm not selling you the piece of plastic, Zane. I'm selling you comfort. I'm selling you vision. I'm selling you something that makes your life easier. And you get bombarded by ads for $49 to go over here. That's really a difficult place to be as not only a physician, but a human. So
Right.
we intercept that and say, let's make this easy. Here's the text. Go ahead and order. If you want, Zane, go price shop. But now you have all the information. So it's also an uncomfortable position for you as a patient. My mom also she recently went through the process. We call her Grams on the gram. So she is constantly on websites ordering stuff. Like she sent me this, because I travel a lot, Zane. She sent me this like door thing to lock my hotel doors that was like
Uh-huh.
5 pounds. Okay. So as a vendor, as a rep, like I have my booth that weighs exactly 50 pounds with all the pamphlets and handouts. So I cannot
Right.
add 5 pounds into my luggage. Like, mom, I'll just get a brick from outside. Okay. Like, and I'm not staying in Motel Sixes. I don't know where you think I'm staying. But to her, to her thing, she said, this is the easiest checkout I've ever done. So if you're a doctor listening on here, if you're a patient listening on here, we have to get better, right? So I'm seeing constant ads now for like PetSmart and Walmart. You want to order from there. Because who are we all competing against? We're all competing against our data's all in this website, Amazon, that makes it super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
So
they're massively getting into healthcare.
so let me see if I've got this right. So if I come in, Dr. Rhue or Dr. Brianna, which do you prefer?
It doesn't matter. Just call me Brianna
Okay.
on this call. We're not taking
Okay.
off my doctor hat.
But if I come in to Dr.
Dr.
Brianna
Rhue,
and
yeah.
Dr. Rhue, and then I leave, and you say, okay, can I get my prescription? So is the response, yeah, absolutely. In fact, we'll make it real easy to you for you. We'll just text it to you so you have it there all the time.
Yep,
Does that work for you? And
yep.
is that how you handle it?
That's how we handle it. Because again, I don't want to go on defense with you, Zane. I want
Right.
it's at the end of the day, it's your record. It's your medical record. I'm just holding it for you. So I don't want to hold you hostage to anything that you don't want to do. And I don't want that awkward conversation to happen where I'm like, "Oh, Zane, please order from me. I'm a small business." Like, you don't care. You don't care. You care about your budget. You care about what's in your bank account. And maybe I was running behind, or I know that you don't get paid until Friday, and or you needed to go talk to your wife or your pet fish for the approval, and now it's in the comfort of your own home. That's what
Right.
we wanted to solve.
So let's talk about. So usually this is kind of unusual. I like to dive into all this other information about your background and all the rest of that. And maybe I'll do that still. But I was really kind of fascinated by this innovative approach because I know that this goes on, and I know it's got to be really frustrating for doctors to be losing all this potential revenue, um, just because. I mean, I don't. I haven't been to my doctor to get contacts for quite a while. I just have a whole storage of contacts, and I'm probably ready to go back and get another eye exam and get some more contacts. I know because I'm starting to run low, and I can't play tennis with my glasses, so I have to have some contacts sometimes. Anyway, this is not about me. This is about you and your really great idea. So you have a business partner too, Jen Tabiza. Did I say that right? And so how did but you're so where are you located?
So I'm in Fort Lauderdale. She's in LA. So we built this company Bicoastal, and it's been quite the ride.
And so how did you guys hook up, for lack of a better word? I mean,
Yeah. So
meet.
Jen and I's story is very interesting. We did not like each other. So we started optometry school together. We're kind of running in the same circle. Her roommate didn't actually like my roommate at the time. So, of course, by association, we didn't like each other. Don't even know why. And then we were in Miami at a little get together and we just started talking. And I was like, wow, you're actually pretty cool. Um, so we became really fast friends. And then fast forward, all of us were getting engaged, getting married. She was practicing inside of a Walmart at the time and looking to move to Los Angeles. And I'm a cliff pusher. So like you tell me a dream and I will like help you see that your own excuses are in the way. And I was like, well, buy a practice, move to LA. I'm sure there's plenty there that you can buy of doctors that are retiring. Sure enough, she did a search, found one, bought one, made it absolutely beautiful. We've closed on, so I bought into an existing practice here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm now the full owner of that practice as well. And we just had this conversation like, dude, this sucks. Like, people keep coming in saying this is the best eye exam I've ever had. Can I have a copy of my prescription? And we had no way to combat it at all. So, as Amazon was coming out, as apps were coming out, we said, well, how hard can it be, Zane, to build something? Well, freaking A, joke is on us. And here now we have over 90 integrations between electronic medical records and distributors and the manufacturers and credit card processing and care credit and Apple Pay and Google Pay. And I mean, the list goes on and on of what we've been able to accomplish on really no budget.
So tell me how, so you say you're dev people. So how did you, okay, so you come up with the idea. And so what was the revelation where you said, oh, we need to, why don't we do this? How did that come about?
I was 9 months pregnant. I was sitting in my chair and she said, hey, you want to build an app where our patients can order from us? I mean, yeah, like that sounds easy. Like, yeah, I mean, we could have this rolled out in like 25 days. Let's go. We found this graphic guy. Like, again, I didn't know any of this TikTok. I didn't know what a CTO was. I didn't know what a GUI was. I didn't know an API. I had no idea what any of
Hmm.
this was. And we found this guy and goes, guys, this just is like graphics. None of this works, but it could look like this. Then we
Right.
found this dev shop where you built your idea through this dev shop. You had to pay him 50 grand. Then you had to pay him $50,000 more to get the code released. All we got was videos. It was broken, had $100,000 stolen from us. We tried again with another company. That was $50,000
So
down the
why didn't
drain.
you just give up?
My middle name is Persistence. And honestly, we were like, well, okay. And so we put it on the back burner for about 4 days. I had a patient walk in to my practice, actually. His name is Doug. And I go, well, what do you do? And he goes, I'm a developer. So like when you meet Doug, he's like, oh my God, I need one of you. Like here I'm like bubbly Brianna. And we gave him a little percentage of the company. He came in and I said, we cannot pay you until our first order goes through, but this is what I want to do. And he had the foresight to make it happen. And had Doug not walked in that day and Googled eye doctor near me, um, yeah, we wouldn't have been here.
So it's just kismet.
Yeah, it was meant to happen, man. It was cosmic.
Okay, so are you religious?
I definitely have a huge faith based. I was raised Catholic. Don't practice it really anymore, but yeah, I'm a huge believer
Huh?
that people come in and out of your life as they're meant to. You just have to look for the synchronicities.
So it cost you $100,000, but not the way that you thought that it was going to cost you $100,000
Oh
to.
God, it's cost me way much more than that, Zane. I think
Well, I
we're
mean to
like,
get.
yeah.
So
Then
so
trying now
now,
to be like a salesperson against doctors too, where we are great technicians. We're not really good. A lot of us are not business oriented because we just have this care. We want to help, but we are not like attorneys where we charge for every 6 minutes. So we're also
yeah.
up against a mindset where you're allowed to make a lot of money, guys, taking care of patients. That's what you do.
So you've had some success stories with other doctors.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about that? Why don't you brag a little bit?
I love it. I mean, we made the Inc. 5000, 3 years running, and that's based on revenue growth. So we were number 41, we were number 395, we were 1188. We're going to make the list one more time, probably, and then we have some more hyper growth coming with some big contracts that we've just closed. But it's really a testament that it comes down to processes that have been broken since the invention of a contact lens. We were up against people, Zane, you've used this, where you order, you have to drive back to pick them up. People don't do that anymore. So everything has to be shipped to the house. We, on average, grow practices 38% in their contact lens business. So we go from failing grades to upwards of 90 to 92%, and then it allows them to focus on other things that matter.
So this can, it seems to me like this would really be life changing for a practice or for
Yeah,
a practice owner.
yeah.
So it seems like a pretty easy thing to sell, but probably not.
I know, Zane. So we've had some very fast followers. We've been knocked off a couple of times. I've had cartoon characters made out of me. We were one of the very first people to have in our industry in eye care, it's an industry of blue logos. We decided on the color purple, and this was in 2017. There was no purple on the floor, and now the whole industry is slowly turned purple. Uh, it's quite the ride. I mean, being a woman in technology, we've been told we should walk before we run, that we were never going to amount to anything, that what we were doing was dumb. And then now having built a national and honestly like global brand, like people know who we are. You can only use it in the US right now, coming in and undercutting you. And like they had a path. Like we didn't have a path. We had to pave the path. And as the path paver, you get a lot of arrows thrown. at your back. And so it's also been, like you say, like a spiritual learning of the persistence and the tenacity and the haters. Um, wow. I mean, I could just write a book on that, but maybe
Just the
my
haters.
experience being bullied early in my life set me up for this. So it's definitely been an education that am glad I went through, but we've made some graduations, which is exciting.
So I can tell you've been on podcasts before, and the reason is your eyes are positioned at the right level. And it's the most common mistake of anybody who has not been on screen before. They're always down here. And I try to explain to them why they need to be up here. Just an observation.
Yeah, no, I love these types of things on sharing my story, and I love what you guys do to help others get out of their own way.
So talk about this one I have written down here and see if I got this right. One practice made nearly $6,000 within 2 hours of going live on your platform. Is that
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So talk about that. Just
So we're all sitting, and Zane, this is where this gets really fun. We are all sitting in the AI, guys. It's just large language modeling processes at this point that can take really large subsets of information and make it into something. That's where we are. Okay, and then you have these AI agents, like that's what we have built here in Dr. Contact Lens, which is if you see this, do that. And we've been able to go into these electronic medical record systems. So Zane, let's say you signed up for Dr. Contact Lens today on March 9th when we're recording this. I would go into your practice 2 years in the past, and I'd be able to pull in all of that crap data, okay, where you wrote, not, it wasn't drop down selecting, it was like hand typed. So it's really just a typewriter, okay, or just handwritten notes of all these parameters. And with our large language model, we're able to process that into money. Then within a week and a half of onboarding, we send out this notification to you as a patient that you can either make an appointment or you can easily order your contacts. And now, I mean, we see this in practice after practice after practice, where now they have a process that shows them how every single encounter ended. So in my practice, we have a saying that it's every patient, every encounter, every time. That's what scales a business that's local. And I think we get confused where you see these businesses scaling. Yes, you can add multiple locations. We're a tech company, and so yes, I'm in multiple locations, right?
Mhm.
But when you go down to the practice level, it is patient by patient, brick by brick, and doing a good job.
So I know when you have something really successful like this, then it just invites a bunch of competition. So how many people are trying to copy you?
Oh my God, the list goes on and on. I don't even know at this point. Um, yeah, it's quite a few.
So it's a race to stay ahead in the thought process of how can you service your customers better.
Yeah, and if we look back on just a little history, so in 2010, 2011, when I came into practice, we were all forced to pick an electronic medical record system back then. The government paid you thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to go onto a medical record system. And then fast forward to 2016, 2017, they were just so basic that they weren't allowing us to add all these little functionalities on. So that's where companies like mine popped up, Weave popped up, Solution Reach, Demand Force. We have Optify, Care Payments Group. Like you need these little things, these little tech, like a tech stack is what I call it. So a technology stack that your practice
Mm-hmm.
needs to really run efficiently. So now we have not only the EMR problem, where they don't make it easy to connect because they're held up with peanut butter and pretzel sticks. And then now you're asking for an API and they're like, I'm sorry, we don't have an API or we're not letting you in. Like, what do you mean? It's actually not yours, it's the patient. So I need to be able to do business with my patients. And we've had to beat on those doors. And now they're finally figuring out that we're all better together. And yeah, we've made it look really easy. It's not been easy, which is what then, when you make your work look like fun, others then see it like that and away they go. So I wish everybody the best of luck out there. I will be the first, because I was not a tech person at all. I had a really good coach, which is Doug, and I was a learner and asked questions, and then he would ask me questions, and we just had this banter. And I was a very fast learner, which is what's gotten us this far. So it does start with an idea. You have to have, like, when you're prompting or looking at a solution that you're trying to solve, you've got to really, really drill down, probably 200 questions into it to get everything solved and then some.
So how do you measure out your time? Because you have a practice, like a private practice too, right? You do this optometry stuff on the side.
Yeah, now I become an optometrist on the side. I'm a doctor on the side, Zane. Oh my God, that's like my joke. Um, so I still see patients a day and a half a week. I'm very specialized in myopia management, so I specialize in kids, specialty contact lenses, and then it's a practice that's lived into its second generation. So I have two amazing associates that are there. So it's a full two-doctor practice, and I have a staff, and I'm really running a business that runs without me. So
Mm-hmm.
if you cannot step away from your business and it not collapse without you, guys, it's a job. That's not a business. And I think many of us make that mistake. So in building Dr. Contact Lens, you have to find A players on your team, and you have to pay those A players that know more than you and can get you there. And that's what I've always been blessed with, is surrounding myself with people that are better than me, that know more than me, that we can always continue to level up. Because, I did go to optometry school, so I know that side of it in and
Mm-hmm.
out, which they don't know. Doug is my CTO, finance guy. He knows that more than I know. And so when you merge that, it becomes 1 + 1 is 18 in this math equation that we're doing. That's the important part, is you as the business owner, you're their bottleneck, man. You are the bottleneck, and you know it. And
Yeah,
I still
I frequently see that with small businesses. Absolutely, all the time. They can't get out of their own way. I I even have customers that just fall into that category.
you
But
inevitably fall into that, Zane. So like
I do. I say I can be. I can be my own bottleneck. Absolutely. So I have all these questions. I didn't even ask you. Like you do all this research, so that I know all this stuff. But I was so fascinated by the story of your company that I just went straight there. Usually, okay, so you grew up a kid in Colorado who thought a cow was a sheep because you couldn't see. And then you didn't have contacts for a long time, or you couldn't see for a long time. How did that work?
I was both my parents needed glasses, so they were nearsighted, right? So you can't see from far away. And here I'm in second grade having a hard time learning how to read when we were on a trip to see my great grandmother. And I looked out the window and I said, Mom, look at that cow. And she's like, Oh my God, Houston, we have a problem. That is a sheep. So either like you don't know your animals or like you can't see. So we went to the eye doctor. I was already very nearsighted. And that's when my mom begged my doctor to give me glasses. I was a cheerleader, gymnast, dancer. Like glasses just don't go into that. And they just weren't attractive back then, dude. Like kid glasses were ugly in the 80s. Like they were terrible. So he put me in contacts, and then I worked my way up into working in his practice and, daughter of a furniture builder. So my dad always taught me, like, this is about your brain, not doing something um, with your body. Cause like like he's had 4 shoulder surgeries and just there's different processes that he looks at. So I got my sales experience, entrepreneurship from my parents because they had their small business. Um, yeah, so you just look at the paths and the forks in the road that you take to get there and celebrate it more.
So, so now you have you're kind of a salesperson a lot of times. So how does that?
100% in sales. Like every single person listening to this, I don't care what you freaking do, you are in sales. Get over it. All of us are in sales from the time our 2 feet hit the ground in the morning to the time they lift off and go to bed. You're
Well,
moving people.
that's a refreshing stance because a lot of people just um, they they hate the idea of being a salesperson, especially professionals.
You're moving
And
people. You're moving people. That's it. I don't care what you do. You're moving people. I have to convince you, Zane, that this pair of glasses is going to be better for you, or I need to convince you if you have glaucoma to take these drops for the rest of your life. Or if you have dry eye that I want you to blink more. That's sales, guys. I don't care what you call it. Call it providing solutions. Call it snake. I don't care. I don't care. You are in freaking sales.
so, what do you do now? What's your primary way of growing your business? Not your optometry business, because although that's interesting, um, that's that's really not your. Well, that's a part-time thing.
Well, it's still there. Like it's
Oh, it's
still
still
like
there, right, right, right.
has to
You still
run.
do
Like
want to promote it. I don't mean to diminish that, but
what's that? No, I do I love podcasts like this. I do a lot of speaking. So I've gotten myself on a lot of stages and then also just again these exhibit halls, right? So any conference, take any profession, attorneys, med spas, the health conference, HLTH, the any conference for that matter that you go to get education, there's an exhibit hall.
hmm.
Well, guys, guess where stuff happens is that exhibit hall.
So
And
explain
so
to me
now I'm
how.
a vendor that, I have to ship my booth and I have to ship tables and we leave tables behind. And now I'm sitting there hoping someone comes up and talks to me or I like pull you in by your badge. So that's like I live on both sides of this table, which has been very, very fun, Zane, that I'd love to dive into.
So tell me how. So I'm going to dive in there. Although I'm going over my time, but we'll just a couple of minutes more anyway. Tell me how, if you go to a booth that's not an optometry sort of a show, and you're sitting there. Let's just use the attorneys because you're talking about attorneys, and I know lots of attorneys and doctors and all kinds of different professions in that area. But tell me, let's say you're at a show where there's a bunch of attorneys there. How do you sell your services or your idea with the context?
Well, I'm at a show for optometry specifically. But for the listeners out there, remember if you are the person at the show and you're going to talk to a vendor, right? And this is for anybody, I don't care. When you're on the carpet and someone's pitching you, okay, so you walk in and there's 300 booths all trying to sell you the latest and greatest and it has this ROI. Realize that you are the shark in Shark Tank in that moment. So, Zane, if you walk up into my booth, you are the shark, and I am the entrepreneur trying to pitch you or sell you to move. But what happens is you clam up. You all say, how much does it cost? That moves nobody. So when you go to these conferences, number one, realize why you're there. Number two, when you come back, take one form of action and realize this is about a conversation that when you ask really good questions, you can get to a decision. That's all that they do on Shark Tank. They ask 4 to 7 questions to know if they're going to make that investment. That's what you have to do. And that's what I'm seeing. So many of these industries are suffering and struggling, we're all selling to private equity because you feel out on the limb. We're not leveraging vendor relationships like they need to be leveraged. So that's my big soapbox. Wrote a book on it. If you want a copy of it, it's called the I Pitch book. Just link in me and I will send you one on the house. And I want people to take back their power by understanding where they freaking sit in that exhibit hall.